I sent it to Michael, and I think he was really happy to see it.
I'm sure he was.
Let me see if I can find exactly what he wrote me. I'm oversharing here, but
Uh,
I thought it was cool. He says
hey,
it was actually 88, and the whole album wasn't even done until 86. LOL. So there you go. But
uh-huh.
1988,
Wow.
I didn't even know
Wow.
Tom Miller was still doing calls for y'all in '88.
Yeah, that was probably near the end of his run.
But see, hell, that was near the end of the Crockett run.
It sure was.
Devin Dowling wants to know, Tony, did you get catering during the Disney era, or did you have to venture yourself into the park?
Wow. Devin, that's a good question. I think we ventured into the park. I had the kids with me a lot, and we spent days at Disney and for free, right? They allowed us to be a part of it. And I've told the story many times. I had a car pass that let me drive my car backstage at MGM Studios, which is now Hollywood Studios. And so that pass would get my car backstage at any of the parks. So I would just load the kids up in the car, go backstage, boom, drive in the backstage at the Magic Kingdom and have an entire day. It was great. It was really great. But then it got to the point. Well, they put together. I'm right about this. They needed the space for Band of Brothers, and that's where they shot Band of Brothers. And of course, we fucked up the Disney thing by doing that thing during the Nitro era, where they had ambulances come into Disney. That fucked it up really well. But also, I remember Eric talking to me. He said, "Man," he said, "we're just because when Nitro got really hot, that drove the ship, and we would like a guy would change his hair color, and you'd see it on Nitro, and then that weekend you would watch WCW Saturday Night or Worldwide or something, and he looked completely different. And the angles that we did on, they did things on, they did things on Nitro without even considering what was in the can already. And so, in effect, we had to throw a lot of stuff away. There's a lot of matches, and I mean a lot of matches from Disney that never aired because no one would take the time to think about what was in the can. And I remember Eric telling me one time, he said, "We can't let what we shot in Disney drive the train. If we've got a good idea for Nitro, we need to go with it, regardless of what is in the can for Disney." And I remember him telling me, he said, we're just, it's not working for us anymore. Well, we got that great tag team match is over.
It is indeed. Harlem Heat retained the tag titles. Next up, we've got Sting and Avalanche.
Ooh,
Avalanche, of course, is the former Earthquake. And then in our main event, we've got Hogan and Savage against Kevin Sullivan and the Butcher. Meltzer would say the reason the Clash was moved from its original site of Hampton, Virginia to Las Vegas was because the NATPE convention was going to be held in Vegas, January 24th to the 26th. The idea was that WCW would hold a major event to get TV executives there and show off a hot product with Hogan and Savage. That's a
mm,
pretty good idea, don't you
yeah,
think?
sure, it's a good idea. I wonder how NAPD has changed over the years with streaming and everything.
The WWF has Vince McMahon, Diesel, Undertaker, and Jim Ross in, but then they have to leave and go tape Raw. So they've got JR and Shane McMahon, and then eventually it's the Bushwhackers and Mr. Fuji. But you guys, man, you got Hogan, you got Savage, you got the live show. Another one of Eric's ideas here. Pretty smart.
Yeah, syndication was still a big deal back then.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have had this opportunity in Hampton, Virginia.
No, no, not at all. Love the color the Macho Man is wearing here.
Oh, you like the black, red, and yellow?
Yeah, I mean, he is such a pro, man. He knew, you know.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, he was loved Randy Savage. I know I've talked about that so much on this program, but I really, really did. There's only 2 more matches to go, did you say?
Yeah. It's only an hour and a half clash.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Sting and Avalanche, and then this match that they're promoting right here. Shout out to Nick Hogan. I don't know if you saw that, but he got married over the weekend.
Did he?
Yep. You got Google at your house?
Yeah.
Would you type this in for me in your Google machine?
Okay, in my Google machine, go ahead.
TANA,
TANA.
and then hit the space bar.
Yeah.
Then hit LEA, hit enter. They want you to click image or images. And bam, there you go. There's Mrs. Nick Hogan. So Mr. and Mrs. Nick Hogan.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl.
Yeah. I guess now it's Tana Balea instead of Tana Leia. She added the bow.
Yeah.
She added the bowl. Are you surprised Nick Hogan never got in the business?
Yeah, very much so.
I am too. I mean, I know he had, some challenges to say the least early in his life. I'm kind of surprised that he never made that leap.
Yeah, I wonder if his dad didn't want him into business.
I can't imagine that he did,
Mm-hmm.
Feels like every dad says, oh, I don't get the business.
Well, Chris Schiavone wanted the business at one time.
You talked him out of that?
No, he went down and trained. He did. Remember, QT gave him the diamond cutter. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
he went down and trained for about a week, and after he hit the mat a couple of times, he thought, this is not for me.
Yeah, it doesn't look fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
Doesn't look fun. Yeah, I'm happy for Nick, man. I hate that he had all those challenges as a young person, and I know that a lot of that stuff was self-inflicted, and I'm going to get eat up for saying that, but clearly his life didn't go exactly according to plan, but it feels like he's got a fresh start, and everybody deserves a second chance, and
Damn right.
I hope he's happy now, and him and his lovely new bride. I heard Bam Margera was their photographer. How wild is that?
Who's that?
The Jackass guy.
Oh, Bam.
Yeah, he was the photographer.
Wow. I didn't know he was a photographer. Does he have a side business?
I don't know, man. I mean, I got to ask. Eric's on his way here, so I'll ask Eric because I can't believe it. But Eric went to the wedding and the reception. I think that the Hogans went to Garrett's, so it's one of those.
Yeah.
You got to go, family, friends, and all that.
Yeah. Well, as we know, and I think it's been well established, probably not only this podcast, but on Eric's and Hogan's friendship has lasted, since the WCW days.
I just didn't think that, friends went to each other's weddings, much less their kids' weddings. I just wasn't used to that.
Yeah, I know. Well, it depends on the friend.
That's true. That's right. Because Bruce and Silva and even Michael by God Hayes, they came to my wedding. Yeah.
Did they really?
Yep.
Well, it's probably because that they all had full-time jobs back then and were able to take some time off to do it.